The temperature dropped 100 degrees overnight. My neighbors didn't even buy a pack of instant noodles in advance, but I had a whole Walmart in my possession. My goddess came to me cold and hungry, begging for food. Of course I didn't give it to her, because in my last life, it was 60 degrees below zero. Half of the 198 people in Building 21, half of us froze to death or starved to death. I had enough food and supplies to last me half a year. Suddenly there was a knock on my door. I saw that it was my goddess, Fan Yucheng, who I've been licking for 6 years. I took out today's worth of food and prepared to give it to him. Suddenly, more than 90 neighbors rushed in behind him. They took all my food. There were too many people and not enough food. Fan Yucheng suggested the neighbors to kill me and use my ribs to make soup. She even said that I tricked them into opening the door, so they should give me more. In the midst of the pain, I died with a grudge. I vowed to take revenge in the next life. Suddenly I was reborn a month before the end of the world. Good. I'm going to teach these scum a lesson. Reborn in the last days. The first thing to do is to stock up on supplies, of course. The second is to build a safe house where the neighbors can't break in. My parents died young. They left me a 120 square feet house in Tianhai City. I still have $2 million in savings. It's not enough for stockpiling. Suddenly, my eyes flashed with a white light. Then my consciousness entered the white light. Inside the white light was a miniature space of several million square kilometers. With this alien space, I can stock up on food that will last me 100 years. As the supervisor of Walmart's South China warehouse, I suddenly had an immature idea. Walmart South China. Walmart South China has a huge warehouse that covers an area of 1 million square meters. If we empty this warehouse, I could feed my grandchildren until they die. At that moment, my stomach growled. I went to the 3-star Michelin restaurant that I didn't want to go to in my last life. A meal here costs $10,000 per person. I found a window seat. I called out for fried rice. I'm sorry, sir does not have a book. This dish does not have a book. So I picked my favorite dish and wine. I spent $66,000 on one meal. The waiter thought I was a second-generation gangster. After starving for a month in the last world, I ate like crazy. But this scene, I saw my goddess, Fan Yucheng, who I've been licking for 6 years. She and her girlfriends wanted to spend money in this restaurant, but they didn't have any money. Suddenly she saw me ordering a table. They couldn't wait to come in and share the food. Isn't that Zhang Yi? How did she get the money to eat here? Her best friend was shocked too. So you have a dog licker. You're such a rich, invisible rich kid. That table must have cost at least $50, $60, $70, $80, $90,000. After checking out, I felt my 8-pack ABS. I went to the supermarket to buy supplies. Suddenly, there was a familiar voice beside me. Zhang Yi, what a coincidence. I saw that he was the one who proposed to me before I was reborn. I suggested killing me and making soup with my ribs. When she saw me, she immediately tucked her hair behind her ear, revealing her pale neck and earlobes. Then her eyes accidentally met mine, and then quickly moved away. I laughed coldly at the fact that in my last life, I was charmed by this green tea. Now I just want to kill him immediately. He was startled by my eyes that didn't hide the knife. What's the matter? Nothing. You've got the wrong person. Then I put my hands in my pockets and left. I'll just wait for the end times to come and then I'll tower over him. I can't let him die too easily. For a moment, they were taken aback by my coldness, but then they convinced themselves. I'm sure he's a real rich man. Otherwise, why is he so bad-tempered? They didn't look like dog lickers at all. So they came up with smiles on their faces. Are you going to the supermarket? Do you need help? Sure, free labor. It's not worth it. I bought more than 500 pounds of stuff. I asked the two of them to carry it together. To people in the heart is not willing to negotiate conditions. We help you carry the stuff. You have to treat us to a big meal. They wanted me to treat them to a 50-meter meal. I agreed vaguely that I'd wait until I had time. They were delighted. I laughed as they wheeled the cart to the neighborhood. The neighbors were dumbfounded. There was a lot of talk. Auntie Lin, who works for the owner's committee. With her grandson in tow, she greeted them. "Yo, John, there's so much stuff. Why don't you give some to Mrs. Lin?" His grandson spotted a box of chocolates worth $200. He took it straight away. I snatched it right back. "I don't even have enough for myself, Auntie Lin." The grandson immediately burst into tears. "You bastard, give me back my chocolate, or I'll beat you to death." I stared at him coldly. "Or I'll slap you." Mrs. Lin hurriedly coaxed her grandson. "How old are you? Why are you still bothering with children? It's just a box of chocolates. What's wrong with giving it to a child? Just take it as a gift. I'll give you the money later." As if anyone wants to take advantage of you. Go to the supermarket and buy it yourself. I don't give a damn about this clown. When the neighborhood leader's mom came home, Fang Yuking winked at me playfully. "Don't forget to treat me." I looked disgusted. "Don't worry." After kicking them out, I put all the food into the alien space, including live fish and shrimp. Next, we have to prepare the warmth, medicine and weapons. Build a safe house. After a good night's sleep, I went to the other dimension. Although the fish and shrimp are dead, but the food was completely fresh. It was as fresh as the day I put it in. So, I immediately called a 5-star restaurant. "There's a small restaurant. Hello. I'd like to make a reservation for 500 tables. We're going to have a big banquet. That's over $1 million. The waiter said, "I have to ask the supervisor." The supervisor said he needed a deposit of $200,000. I quickly transferred the money. After booking the dinner, there are only a few $100,000 left. But the end of the world, the house is not mortgaged for New Year's Eve. Anyway, 95% of the people will be dead by then. The money is useless. So I went to the bank. I mortgaged my house, which is worth $5 million on the market. I got a loan of $4 million, and that's when it happened. I was greeted by a salesman in a suit. "You need money, buddy?" I glanced at him. Another loan shark. Then he took me to a big fat guy. The fat guy was wearing a brand name enema. They started acting. I played along with them. In the end, I took out a loan of $4 million with a real estate license and a Mercedes-Benz. But I have to pay back $7 million in 3 months. The payment came down on the same day. They thought it was a good deal. I also felt very profitable. With the money, I drove to the famous War Dragon security company. This company specializes in providing security for celebrities. In his previous life, he built a $1 billion safe house for the richest man in the world. They say it's nuclear bomb proof. A strong man who almost burst his suit sits down and introduces his business. I asked if I wanted to build a 120 square foot house on the 24th floor into a doomsday safe house. "Can you do that?" The guy was a little confused. This is usually a single family house. Who would do it on the upper floors? But he just wants to make money. So, he took out his iPad 6-0 and let me choose. I chose to replace the walls and ceilings. With 20 centimeters of aerospace alloy. It's light and hard. Then add filtration to the ventilation system. Then add a full set of surveillance. And finally, a bank vault grade security door. To put it bluntly, it's a super alloy steel box. The final math. $7 million for the remodeling of the house. And I asked for an expedited schedule, 24 hours a day, 15 days to finish. I raised the price to $8 million. I paid a deposit of $1 million. We started construction the same day. Now it's time to get some doomsday weapons. Shotguns, machine guns, crossbows, you name it. I happen to know a friend in the field. He saw my hunting license, and the money was there. He helped me quickly. I bought 5 crossbows, 5 shotguns, thousands of arrows. That's nearly $1 million. I went home and prepared water and medicine for each of them. Time flies. The money's almost gone. The next step was to sneak that 1 million square foot South China Walmart warehouse before the end of the world. I smuggled the 1 million square feet of Walmart warehouse into my alien space. The next day, I started renovating my house. It looked like I was going to build a doomsday safe house. The neighbors suspected that I was on drugs. They all laughed at me. I laughed and said, "When the end comes next month, you'll all have something to cry about." And the White Lotus who used my ribs to make soup in my last life. but that's why they concluded that I'm a second-generation rich boy. He has always treated me as a dog licker and a spare tire, but he became more and more enthusiastic about me. He even asked me why I stocked up on so many things. I simply replied yes. He was furious and began to suspect that I was not using the identity of the second generation of rich people, and began to suspect that I stocked up because I got some information in advance. But I felt it was inexplicable. People would make fun of me if I started stocking up. In the end, I didn't stock up on anything. Half a month passed. The walls around my house. I replaced all the walls around my house with 20-centimeter thick aerospace alloy ventilation systems. Military-grade insulation. Arctic glass is bulletproof and explosion-proof. The whole building can be monitored. And when the last bucket of water I ordered arrived, the only warm-hearted person I met in my last life, Uncle O, wanted to help me carry it, so I whispered to him that this year's temperature was abnormal. I suggested stocking up on food. Prices may go up later. As I recall, 1 month after the end of the world, the price of instant noodles will go up to 5,000 per bag. Uncle Yo was half believing it. I told him to stock up on noodles and water. It won't go bad. Uncle Yo listened, but Mr. Wong next to him pulled him away. He's been acting strange lately. Why do you care about him? I've tried my best. The rest of my day is just eating and hoarding. I practiced archery. And 3 days before the end, I returned to Walmart from my vacation. As a warehouse supervisor, I was going to take out the tens of billions of dollars worth of South China warehouses to move tens of billions of dollars worth of warehouses in southern China into my million square meter mini space. Sleeping pills are the only way to get rid of coworkers. In order to mesmerize all the colleagues in charge of the warehouse, I bought half a kilogram of sleeping pills. Because I wanted to empty 1,000,000 square meters of Walmart warehouse tonight, I ordered everyone a $50 hot drink, and then I gave it to my coworkers one by one. Everyone had a good time. Half an hour later, everyone else passed out. As head of the warehouse, I shut down all surveillance. Then I went inside the warehouse. With a flick of my left hand, a whole row of goods went into my alien space. After being reborn, this skill is too good. Inside are groceries and snacks, fresh produce, tractors, excavators, aircraft carriers, Walmart warehouses, everything. Knowing that in 3 days the world will be 60 degrees below zero, I was having a blast. Suddenly, I caught a glimpse of a box in the corner that looked familiar. I opened it up. Oh my God, it's the super cold suit that came in a few days ago. This is the latest technology in 2050. It can withstand temperatures as low as -100 degrees Celsius. After 9,972 minutes, I emptied the 1,000 x 1,000 meter warehouse. Then I drank a small amount of water with sleeping pills. I deliberately put my colleague's hand on my body, pretending that I fainted first. I was soon shaken awake. Supervisor. Oh no, there's a big problem. I was so confused. What's going on? What the hell? Our warehouse has been emptied. What? I'm shocked, like I was in disbelief, and then anxiously ran to check, holding his head in pain and shouting, how could this be? What the hell happened? My men got a cell phone. The manager was on the phone. On the phone, the manager roared, Zhangyi, someone reported that everything in the warehouse has disappeared. What's going on? I'm blaming myself. I don't know. It was just a 2-hour break in the shift. The entire warehouse was emptied. The manager said it was impossible. You can't be a mole. You stole it yourself while your hands were empty, didn't you? Of course, I refused to admit it, so the manager called the police. That night, my colleagues and I were called to the police station for questioning. But first, there was no evidence. Secondly, no one believed I could empty a Walmart by myself. So the police told us not to leave the city, just cooperate with the investigation. After leaving the police station, it was snowing heavily. I rushed home. I knew it was a harbinger of doom. 3 days later, at 2 a.m., the aftermath of the supernova explosion swept across the globe. Temperatures plummeted. Temperatures near the Earth's equator reached 10 degrees below zero. Cold winds howl. Snow was flying. I'm drinking hot water, waiting quietly for the end of the human madness. The Southerners in my group who have never seen snow are still excited, but I know the snow will continue for another 3 months, and the global temperature will drop to 60 degrees below zero. On the first day, the Southerners are still enjoying the snow. And the next day, when everyone opens the door, the snow was already a meter high. Most people started to freeze, while I, who had prepared a fireplace and enough food in advance, I was sleeping soundly in a 27-degree safe house. Suddenly my phone rang urgently. It was the White Lotus flower I'd licked for 6 years in a previous life. And he came up to complain. "Zhang Yi, you've been stocking up like crazy. Did you know the weather would be abnormal? Why didn't you inform me?" I laughed coldly. I hung up the phone. "I'll notify you." He was furious. How dare a fucking dog hang up on me? In his past life, he made soup out of my ribs. In this life, I'm going to make fun of him. In front of the neighborhood committee, Mrs. Lin stopped those who wanted to go out to buy supplies. "Don't be in a hurry. The extreme weather will soon pass. Don't go out and loot for supplies." I'm watching from the surveillance camera. I was amused by this scene. I've been reborn, but I know the snow will last for 3 months. Now is almost the last prime time to stock up on supplies. Auntie Lin is such a jerk, but just for the sake of showing off her power, she stopped everyone. Neighbors say they don't know when the snow will stop. In a few days, the price of food will go up like crazy. Looting supplies will only make everyone buy more expensive food. If anyone dares to go, I'll report you to the authorities. I'll go downstairs. I dislike this black sheep. Mrs. Lin, if it snows for a long time, and you don't let people go out to buy things, will you be responsible? The neighbors all agree. That's right. Who'll be responsible if there's nothing to eat? Mrs. Lin is talking nonsense. Don't worry. The neighborhood committee is very responsible. There will be no shortage of supplies. The snowstorm will soon be over. Then she immediately accused me. "Zhang Yi, you're stirring up people's hearts. You're breaking the law." "That's not true. It's so cold. I definitely won't go out. You can stock up if you like." A few days have passed. The temperature has reached 70 degrees below zero, and the snow has flooded the entire first floor. Auntie Lin sent me a direct message in the group. "Zhang Yi, bring your tools and come out to plow the snow." I saw that besides me, she also tweeted the most honest people in the building. He himself was roasting with his grandson. I replied in a mildly sarcastic manner. "It's not a good idea to go out now. Sweeping is not as fast as getting down." A few other honest people followed my lead. "Yes, that's right. It's over 70 degrees below zero. You'll freeze to death if you go out there." Auntie Lin was so angry that she gnashed her teeth. "It's that kid again who's leading the charge. He's typing with both fingers. What kind of attitude is that? It's not for me to clear the snow. It's for all of us. We're all young and strong. How can you avoid them? What's wrong with you?" On behalf of the neighborhood council, I order you to go out and clear the snow. Whoever opposes it will be liquidated by the organization. Shit, you're talking nonsense again. You have no power to give orders all the time. I'm going to kill you today, since I'm typing this for the sake of everyone. Then the neighborhood committee should take the lead. And why pick on the most honest person in the building? Chen Zhenghao, the strongest socialist in the building. And rich kid Su Hao you do not even dare to mention now. It's because we honest people owe you. Why don't you go find Chen Zhenghao and Su Hao? In my past life, it was Chen Zhenghao who kicked down my door. Su Hao was the first to attack me. Bastard Zhang Yi, you're putting me on the spot. But if I don't do anything, who's going to take me seriously? Auntie Lin had to do something. She asked Chen Zhenghao and Su Hao to come out and clear the snow. She asked them to come out and clear the snow with her. When Chen Zhenghao heard that, he was dumbfounded. Then he yelled at them, "Auntie Lin, are you out of your mind? It's snowing so hard, and you want us to sweep the snow. I'll kill you if you don't tell me again." Auntie Lin was scolded. She didn't even dare to say a word. And rich kid Su Hao was even more direct. "It's none of my business if you want to sweep the snow. Mrs. Lin, you stupid dog. You're taking money from the owners and you're still acting like a bully. You think you're the master." Su showed a picture of himself and his girlfriend. He said, "Don't bother me again, you stupid bird." Mrs. Lin was furious. He can't afford to offend these two. He thought it was all my fault. Otherwise, he wouldn't have needed to tweet about them. While I was cooking, while listening to Mrs. Lin's ranting and raving in the group, I said, "Idiot, you're a bully and you're looking for me to make you feel better. If you don't stop yelling, I'll kill you. When Auntie Lynn saw that I was strong, she lost her nerve. She muttered to herself, "You'll see what happens later." Suddenly, there was a banging sound. I saw that it was Chen Jinghao, and he was yelling that he wanted to kill me. I picked up the wall plate and opened the observation window on the door. "Let's see who's going to kill who." "Son of a bitch, don't open the door. I'll make your death even worse." The bow was as fast as a bow and arrow, straight through his calf. Yes. It's been a good month of practice. He was screaming in pain, covering his leg. I watched the scene from the corner of my eye. This asshole who stabbed the whole neighborhood in the back. In the 3 years since he moved in, there was never a neighborhood where he didn't get his ass kicked. In the last days, he killed 100 of his neighbors. This time he's going to get his ass kicked. It's 70 degrees below zero. If you don't get treatment in time, I'm sure he'll lose his whole leg. Then he'll die a slow death. He stumbled back to the elevator, because for a moment there, he thought I really wanted to kill him too. When he got out of the elevator, he called 120 for help, and fortunately, the entire first floor of the city was covered in snow. Hospitals and ambulances couldn't possibly come, not to mention they couldn't even make a phone call. But after all, he's a gangster. He decided to take care of it himself. But as soon as he lit the alcohol to sterilize, but he realized his whole leg was numb. It's a good thing he didn't need anesthesia. Suddenly, there was a snap. He drew his bow and arrow. "I'll kill you. I'll kill you." Then he tweeted me in the neighborhood. He said if he didn't kill me, or he'll jump into the sea to feed pigs. I replied, "Who the hell are you? If you dare to mess with me again, I'll kill you with my remaining leg." Everyone in the neighborhood was shocked by this scene. After all, no one dares to mess with Chen Jinghao. Chen Jinghao was so angry that he called his boys. "Rush over to hide you immediately. Bring anything that can hurt. I'll lead you to kill someone today." The boys braved the minus 70-degree temperature to come here. The triad leader growled, "He's at 2,401. I eat him alive. Don't worry, how. We're pros at killing people." When the bald guy comes to my door, he came up with a lightning 5-strike attack. But the blade breaks just after the first slash. He almost killed himself. What kind of door is this? They then realized, it's a half-ton bank vault security door. I sighed as I watched the security cameras inside the house. "Hey, interrupt me singing and dancing basketball. I'll play you." I called out to the security camera at the door. Hey, don't you know how to do a 5-pronged whip? Hit it hard." Then I took a hose to the sink and hooked it up to the faucet. When the gangsters saw the hose coming out of my door, they thought it was funny. The next second, a 2-meter jet of water came out. It was 70 degrees below zero. I can't imagine what it's like. In no time at all, they were freezing their asses off. If we don't go back, we won't be able to go back. I'm in a 27-degree room watching the monitor. I whistled. It's really better than using a bow and arrow. They went back to their boss Chen Jinhao's house to stay warm. But Chen Jinhao was furious. "What's going on? So many people can't open the door. They're shivering in their arms. Big brother, you didn't say it's a bank-grade security door." He even bared us with a hose. How to smash out. Chen Jinhao was furious when he heard that. "It's okay. I don't believe he'll stay in hiding forever." "That's right. We'll wait for him to come out. We'll dismantle him." But they don't know I can stay home until they die. There's 3 meters of snow downstairs now, and it's going to last for 3 months. I look at my neighbors who are being lured to shovel by the neighborhood Escalations and Lin. I'm so naive. It won't be long now. 95% of the people will be dead. Right now, the news is reporting on how countries are coping with the disaster. But in a few days, everyone will realize it's the end of days. It's not a snowstorm, and Chen Jinhao broke his leg. He will die a very painful death in low temperature. 2 days later, 3.5 meters of snow covered the entire first floor. They couldn't shovel the snow from the doorway anymore. No one could go out to buy anything. The White Lotus goddess I've been licking for 6 years. She was the first one to ask me for food. Of course I refused, but as kind as I am, I took a picture of a lobster and gave it to him. I hoped that he would not want to eat it, but he thought I'd lick it and bring it to him. He said in a clipboard voice, "Your lobster is huge." I don't know why. I'm craving a big lobster today. But I said, "Yes, I also think this lobster is a bit too big to eat. But today I'm weak and need to take care of myself." Next time, I'll treat you. I'll do it next time. Damn it, in my last life, at the end of the world, he had me crack my ribs to make soup for him. This time, I won't be finished until he's dead. The feeling of not being able to eat even though you're crying makes him angry. Zhang, I'm going to move your ranking in my fish pond. I'm going to move you down 10 places. No, 100 places. However, his green tea best friend thinks that can still try to cheat a little more. For the lobster, he quickly sent a message. Zhang, why are you so stupid? Now Yuking is not happy. Do you know how serious the problem is? Very serious. That's right. Should I cut up the lobster or eat it with my hands? You're confused. The snowstorm can't last more than a few days. You're starving for a couple of meals to get the lobsters here. You'll make a lot of money if you trick Yuking into it then. You can't even spare this much. I don't think you're true to our Yuking at all. You're not true to our Yuking at all. White Lotus and green tea are very skillful at talking. That's why I played the most blocking combination. Reply to the smiley face. Damn it, I said half a day you just What the hell? Yuking, I've been looking for Zhang Yi to talk to you for half a day, but he doesn't care. I suggest you kick him out of the fish pond. Who is Zhang Yi? Do I know him? Don't mention him in front of me again. But on second thought, they couldn't stand it. So they decided to get a more loyal and brain-dead lickspittle to work for them. Hey, Zhou Peng, I have a favor to ask you. After only 5 minutes, Zhou Peng was panting and brought him food. Yuking, the food is here. I chose everything. The most expensive and the best in the house. Fang Yuking's dog breeding skills are all over the place. Shy and grateful. Thank you, Zhou Peng, you're so nice. It's okay. I'll do anything for you. He hadn't finished expressing his loyalty. The door was already closed by his green tea girlfriend. How dare you think of me like this? I'll be damned in my next life. The snow continued for 3 more days. I know the real panic is coming tonight. All 800 cities in the country are without power at the same time. My house is the only one that's lit up. Neighbors are running out to the porch to complain. It's 60 degrees below zero. And the water and power are out. I'm sure we're going to freeze to death. Hey, it's been 6 days since the snowstorm. If I don't freeze to death, I'll starve to death. I kicked my teeth after eating 200 pounds of chicken legs. Then I played 300 games to calm my nerves. The end of the world is really terrible. Luckily, I was born again. I prepared the Walmart super generator in advance. Mrs. Lin is shivering with her grandson in her arms. Why would the whole country lose power during a snowstorm? However, when he looked at the neighborhood committee group, he was shocked. It's said that this snowstorm will happen once in a million years. It might usher in a great biological extinction. Several major cities have already fallen. There's no way to save them. We can only rely on our own supplies to survive. Mrs. Lin was shocked, but she immediately had a plan. While I'm the only one who knows first, I'll trick the neighbors into giving me food. Even if I have to kill everyone in the neighborhood, I must keep me and my grandson alive. So, he immediately started talking nonsense in the group. I've just received a message. The disaster is only temporary. Crews are already working on the water and power outages. Officials have also issued a notice. All matters are under the control of the neighborhood committee. If you don't cooperate, we'll ask the police to arrest and interrogate them. What's the situation? What do you mean? The neighborhood association will manage it. Shit, fox and tiger, old woman, old man. She doesn't solve anything. She's just giving orders. I've been reading about it in the game. Auntie Lynn's bullshit, and then she starts cheating. In order to let everyone get through this, starting now, the neighborhood committee will collect supplies from every household and then distribute them uniformly. It's the same trick as in my past life. Collecting is real, distribution is not. And I was the first person he sent a private message to. Zhejiang, you're the Walmart warehouse supervisor. A few days ago, you pulled dozens of trucks of supplies into your home. Now we're in trouble. It's time for you to shine. Once the snowstorm is over, we'll pay you back twice as much. Damn it. I fell for your trick in my past life. As soon as I distributed my supplies, my neighbors came to rob me. So I held down my voice and said, "That's great, Auntie Lynn. I've just finished my food. Remember to give me some of what you've collected. The furious Mrs. Lin. She looked at her grandson. She's going to put up with this. She decided to get supplies from me, at least enough to last a week. Then she coerced me again. Since I'm the head of the warehouse, I'm sure there's no shortage of food and drink at home. Obey the orders of the organization. Everyone will remember you as a good man. I'm not lying. I'm all out of food at home. Why don't you give me some instant noodles? Take the lead. Seeing that I'm not afraid of boiling water, Auntie Lin's anger was so great that she showed her true colors. She yelled at me, "I'll let the organization deal with you. You represent the organization. You're just a neighborhood committee officer, not to mention a civil servant. You're not even a civil servant. You just have to live up to your reputation. You really take yourself seriously. If you're so capable, you can do whatever you want. I'll wait for you at home." After being scolded Mrs. Lin, she hung up the phone. Damn it, can't you do anything about him? At least I'm the leader of the neighborhood. At that moment, Mrs. Lin had an idea. She thought she'd try to persuade the other owners to give up their supplies. Then she incited everyone to join her, to force me to give up my food. I was eating noodles at home, monitoring the whole floor in real time. I didn't realize there was really a big bastard willing to give up his supplies. You know, in temperatures as low as 100 degrees below zero, you're going to burn through it very quickly. An ordinary family can only survive for a week. If we hand over the supplies again, they'll only die faster. The outside world will soon be in a state of panic. 3 days later, the neighborhood committee's group chat rang again. It was a homeowner who had previously handed over supplies asking for food. They were questioned. Auntie Lin was complacent. Bunch of idiots. This stuff is all mine. I've worked hard and cheated my way back. How can I give it back to you? At that moment, the cell phone on Auntie Lin's desk started to vibrate. When I looked at it, it's Chen Jinghao, a gangster, calling. When I answered the phone, I found out Chen Jinghao knew about Auntie Lin's scamming of the landlord's supplies. Auntie Lin wanted to pretend to be a tiger and continue to act as if she's serving the people. But she was scolded by Chen Jinghao. "Old man, you've lost your face, haven't you? You've pocketed all that stuff. If you don't hand them over, dozens of people in this room will go over there and take them personally. I'll give you a slap on the face when I see you. I'll let you cheat the neighbors out of their goods. I'm doing it for God's sake. I'm at home eating a ham sausage." Watching the security footage cannot help but show an evil smile. It's a dog-eat-dog situation. I had an idea. I want to send this image to the owners group. I'm sure the owners will have a great reaction when they see it. On the other hand, Chen Jinghao, in the name of righteousness, ordered his boys to scavenge the house for supplies. These are all the hard-earned goods of the neighbors. He can't take advantage of them. At this moment, Auntie Lin, who was still breathing on the ground, was begging bitterly. She wanted Chen Jinghao to leave some supplies for her, so that she and her 2.5-year-old grandson could survive. The inhuman Chen Jinghao, but he wouldn't show any sympathy at all. "It's none of my business. Let go." Then he kicked Auntie Lin again and sent her flying. Auntie Lin fell unconscious. Lin Xiaowu was furious. He took out a fruit knife. "Get out of here, you rascals." Then he stabbed one of them in the ass. The pain was so severe that the yellow hair was in tears. "You want to die?" Then he exploded his whole body. He kicked Lin Xiaowu and sent him flying. "Lo Wu, when did you learn to kick? You didn't kick this little brat to death, did you? Isn't it cool? I should have let you guys film this scene." At this moment, Mrs. Lin was watching her grandson being beaten up. Her heart ached so much. Chen Jinghao felt disgusted by this scene. "You deserve it. Both of them are lousy. This is the price you pay for cheating your neighbors. I'm doing the right thing." After I sent the security footage to the homeowners group, people are happy. A lot of people shouted, "Brother Ho, you're awesome. The crook deserved it." This is the way to deal with such people. But these people don't realize the crux of the problem. After all, today he can break into Mrs. Lin's house to rob her. Sooner or later, he'll break into your house and kill you too. But that doesn't matter much to me, because this multi-million-dollar safe house can be said to be invulnerable to weapons. Water and fire are invulnerable. Suddenly the group heard a message from Mrs. Lam again. He asked the owners for the medication for the operation, and said that Dr. Zhou intends to save Lin Xiaohu. I was a bit surprised. Zhou Qier is not only beautiful, but she's also so kind. A pack of instant noodles costs $2,000. But all the neighbors want it. The rich kid even asked for $4,000. The noodle seller was so happy, but I called him a fool. This is a once-in-a-100,000-year snowstorm. Many people froze to death while walking on the road. In a few days, you won't be able to buy a pack of instant noodles for $10,000. But the most expensive thing at the end of the world is not food, it's medicine. At the moment, the beautiful and kind-hearted top Dr. Jokir has no medical skills, but she can't save Auntie Berlin's grandson. Although the kid was only kicked and broke 9 of his 8 ribs, but he lacks the most basic antibiotics and other medicines. Jokir, a skillful doctor, couldn't cure him. After he fixed the kid's 9 ribs, he asked for help in the group. He asked his neighbors to contribute their own medicines. He also said that if anyone was sick, he said that everyone who was sick could come to him for free treatment. I was a bit moved by that. As long as she's not a saint, she can be put in my safe house. It's not for her beauty, it's about the medicine. But the neighbors are oblivious to the beautiful doctor's need for medicine. Auntie Lin kept shouting, "Whoever gives me medicine, I'll count out to him 100 times. But the neighbors laughed at her. They said his grandson got what he deserved. The old woman was always cheating everyone out of their supplies. Mrs. Lin turned to threats. "I'm an official. If you don't pay, it's a blatant violation of discipline. You'll be punished afterwards." The neighbors just stopped talking to him. 2 days passed. Mrs. Lin said she and her grandson were starving to death. She wanted to buy some food at a high price. The other neighbors also asked for food at a high price, but no matter how much they paid, they were all robbed by the rich kids at double the price. The neighbors scolded the rich kid for being shameless. The rich kids mocked their neighbors for being childish. Some women with good looks, seeing that money can't buy food, they began to offer their beauty as a lure, but it's the least valuable thing at the end of the day, especially when it's 60 degrees below zero. But I've lit the white lotus flower for 6 years, but I'm not so self-conscious, knowing that my family has stockpiled dozens of trucks of supplies. But she still pretends to be cool with me all day long, waiting for me to take the initiative to send them to her, until she lost more than 10 pounds from starvation. She couldn't help but video me to get close to me. I deliberately pretended not to notice. I purposely pretended not to notice the roasted chicken on the table, and wiped the sweat off my face as we talked. He and his girlfriend, who were in a room at -60 degrees, cried. From the gestures to the tone of voice, they started to beg me in reverse. He said he wanted to come to my house, like crazy. And for the first time in 6 years, he even said he missed me a little. I was sick to my stomach. The woman who made soup out of my ribs in her past life was trying to sell her innocence. I scolded her directly. "It's so cold. You'd better stay home. Besides, my 27-degree house is not suitable for you who are so cold." "Zhang Yi, are you still a man? I've taken the initiative. You're still like this. Don't you want to see that I have food and drink at home? What's the difference between this and you taking the initiative and sticking it to the rich kid every day? You can be a gold digger, but don't treat me like a fool." That's what I said to him. "Who the hell are you? How dare you call me names? I'm just telling the truth. We're not related to each other. Why should I help you? Because you're stupid or because you're green tea? Bastard, bastard, bastard." He was so angry that he hung up the phone. "I've already lowered my stance to come to you. Why don't you bow down and lick me? Why are you cursing me? I will never give you another chance in this life." But her best friend added a stab in the back. "It's all your fault for not taking advantage of the situation. You're right. You're still pretending to be noble. You deserve to be exposed. If I had his qualifications, I'm sure I wouldn't want you either. You bitch." Fang Yuking and her best friend are fighting together. After 72 minutes, they calmed down and decided, why don't they get someone to kill me together and take over my house? So she dialed the number of a full-grade licking dog in the pond. It's to bullying. Zhang Yitzi thought he had good food and drink at home. He deliberately humiliated me. He asked me to sleep with him. Zhou Peng was furious at his words. "Zhang Yan is such a loser. He dares to do this to you. I'll kill him." Seeing Zhou Peng's willingness to stand up for himself, Fang Yuking came close. With an ambiguous face, she persuaded Zhou Peng to take over my house. Then the two of them will go to the house and live together. Seeing that the goddess is so active to herself, Zhou Peng, who had lost his brain, Agreed. Then he's going to look for weapons to go there. Let's get it over with. It wasn't long before 3 little men crept up to my door. They were holding either kitchen knives or mallets. They obviously wanted to kill me. Zhang Yi, are you home? I'm Zhou Peng. When I heard the knock on the door, I looked through the surveillance camera. It's Zhou Peng looking for me. He's always been my rival. There must be something bad going on. And so it was. When I took a closer look, the 3 of them had weapons hidden in their hands. If you want to kill me, you can't do it. I was so angry that I decided to get back at him. Then I went to the kitchen and turned on the tap water. I wanted to do to Chen Zhenghao what I did to him. Zhang Yi's family has run out of food. For the sake of our colleagues, I'll give you fever-reducing medicine for a change. I had an idea. I looked at the slop bucket. Then I pretended to tell him I'd think about it. At that moment, Zhou Peng outside the door thought I'd taken the bait. We're both co-workers. It's better to take advantage of others than to take advantage of you. Open the door quickly. I'll be right there. At this moment, I opened the door with a hose and inserted it. While the 3 of them were expecting me to open the door, I spewed it out at full power. They were all in a mess and screaming. Fang Yuking was shivering and screaming. I didn't realize it was disgusting slop. Zhou Peng was furious and knocked angrily on the door. Zhang Yi, get out of here. I'll kill you. Didn't you say you were starving to death? I'll give you some leftovers. Why don't you thank me? The next moment, Zhou Peng waved his machete and threatened me. You wait for me. I'll go in and kill you. But unexpectedly struggling to force the door to break through, by the goalkeeper's power grid defense attacked hard, directly on the ground in pain, crying and rolling constantly. Another one who doesn't know how to die. What about me? I don't go out if I can. I won't even take a 1/10,000th of the risk. I'll kill you all. I woke up to the sound of a gunshot. Someone in the neighborhood had a gun. I grabbed my iPad 60 and checked the security cameras. His pupils shrank at the sight. After the water shut off, this is the time to go out and dig up the snow, and come back to melt it and drink it as water. Chen Zhenghao and his men, they saw this as the right time. They broke into the house on the 3rd floor to rob the supplies. Obviously, the tenant is dead. Even if he's not dead, he couldn't last long even if he was shot. At this time, Man asked, Brother Huo, we've taken everything. What do you think should be done next? There's no rush. Let's give the weaklings in the group a warning first. Chen Zhenghao then sent 2 pictures to the group. One was a gun in his hand. The other is a picture of the 3rd floor tenant in a pool of blood. Chen Zhenghao is brilliant. No wonder he's so successful in society. There's a limit to the number of bullets in his gun and the number of men he has. He can't fight against the whole building. So he used both tactics first, to make everyone afraid of him. At that moment, there was a ding-dong sound from my cell phone. I picked up my cell phone. I found that the owners had created a new group. It turned out to be Chen Zhenghao's death threat. It made these people think of sticking together to keep warm. I didn't say anything. After all, I'm sure my own safety is fine. I want to see. When it comes to the real thing, they'll start shouting wisdom wins again. You were so arrogant just now. I'm afraid it's just to make other people's blood rush to take the bullets. The security guard in the neighborhood sent a message from Uncle. We can't let Chen Zhenghao and his men go on like this. I can take the lead. Let's go with me to teach these bastards a lesson. The others in the group are all agreeing. Uncle Yu, you're awesome. You're worthy of being a soldier of the people. You can use our kitchen knives. Uncle Yu is a bit speechless, because no one said to go with him to deal with Chen Zhenghao. There are 5 or 6 of them, and they have guns in their hands. I can't go alone. I need at least a dozen guys to go with me. Then someone objected. No way, Mrs. Lin of the neighborhood committee swindled us out of our supplies. If you take young and strong boys with you, go to Chen Zhenghao and surrender. What about the rest of the women and children? And I watched the argument in the group. I let out a long sigh. After all, I expected too much from them. The human nature of the last days is exposed at this moment. They're still blaming each other for what happened. Most of them deserve to die. I have no choice but to eat a hot curry in this -100-degree weather. I had to eat hot curry and continue to watch the show. At that moment, gunshots rang out again. It's Chen Zhenghao and his men taking over again. Even their own brothers are not spared. If any of them couldn't be cured, they shot them on the spot, then piled them up one by one in the corridor. The reason why he's doing this, actually, he has another plan. After all, in the post-apocalyptic world, if he didn't have a gun in his hand, these people may not be obedient. We're all in the same boat only when we've eaten meat. On the other hand, I witnessed all this on the security camera. I knew he had another purpose for killing these people in the corridor, most likely to prepare for when there's no food. He'd use them as a backup when he ran out of food. But if Chen Qingho really messes with me, I wouldn't mind killing him. The next day, there was a distress message from Sweetie Chen in the group. Chen Qingho had raided his house. Yesterday, she was screaming that Uncle Yu was unbelievable. Today, she was begging for help. If anything happens to me, you'll be next. Despite her struggles, at this moment of life and death, no one responded. Suddenly the door was opened. I'm not asking you to let me go. I'll give you all the food in the house. Please let me go. At this moment, human nature is indifferent. In the end, Chen was dragged out and eaten by 8 strong men. On the other hand, the group chat was full of cheers. It's good to die. It bought us all some time. When Fang Yuqing and her girlfriend saw the end of Sweetie Chen, they are more and more determined to take over my house. Otherwise, they'll end up like Sweetie Chen. Right away, Fang Yuqing came up with a good idea. That is to reveal the news that I have supplies at home. Everyone will join together to take over my house for themselves. Immediately I was drawn into a mutual aid group. Fang Yuqing has no shame at all. She wants to use solidarity as an excuse. She's living in my house openly, because I've already seen their tactics in my last life. In this life, we don't need anyone at all. If I didn't want to see what tricks you could play, I would have killed you all. At this time, the so-called mutual aid group also started to morally kidnap Zhang Yi. Are you so heartless to see us killed by Chen Zhenghao? There's a balcony on your floor for easy access to snow water, so that we can all survive together. Originally, everyone thought this would have an effect on Zhang Yi, but the next moment I quit the group chat directly, and added a sentence. Whether or not you can survive in the apocalypse depends on your own skills. You guys have no value to me. I have to give you charity. Right and wrong are all upside down. Those who want to take over Zhang Yi's family's goods, they blame Zhang Yi for being inhumane, and with the discussion of several people, we're going to attack in one fell swoop. As long as we can break down the gate, we can kill him and take the supplies. One of the men said, no matter how strong Zhang Yi's gate is. I used to work for a locksmith company. This is a piece of cake. We'll go in without him opening the door. Listening to the man's words, all of us are reassured. Each of them took their umbrellas to defend themselves against Zhang's cold water, weapons to attack Zhang, and the most important tool to open the lock. As long as we go in, you'll be finished. Fang Yuqing is also happy in her heart. Finally we can kill you. But I'm not in a hurry at all. I've installed 5 layers of security doors. It's a 3S security level. If it's collapsed by your little Karami, it's a waste of money. The high voltage defense function is on. The next moment, the man who opened the lock was electrocuted. He screamed for help. Until he died, he couldn't understand why he was electrocuted by this high voltage electricity. Looking at the severed finger on the door, Fang Yuqing, a green tea, was disgusted. Everyone is getting anxious. We've come here with good intentions to discuss the matter of living together. How can you kill someone? It's ridiculous. You're still pretending. If you open the door, I'll be the one who dies. This is my home, and you're distributing it as if you're the masters. Zhang Yi is ready with his bow and arrows. He's ready to kill them at any moment. He decided to pull the trigger and shoot. I didn't expect that the one who got hit was the neighbor he brought here. The original green tea Fang Yuqing and her best friend joined forces. Fang Yuqing and her best friend came to my house and tried to take over the safe house. But I didn't let them get away with it. I used high voltage and a crossbow to kill them. In this -100-degree weather, a shot from a rusty sword would have killed them. Seeing that I'm getting more and more determined to kill, Zhou Peng and his men retreated. There's no need to worrying about burning firewood while there's still a green hill. But I had no intention of letting them go. I reloaded 2 iron arrows and shot them out. Accurately penetrated Zhou Peng's arms. Fang Yuqing and Sister Wang were so scared they ran away. Finally, they escaped to the house without any danger. When they realized that the iron sword was rusty, they were shocked and cursed me for being so vicious. Without medication in this extreme weather, we can only wait for death. Little Four Eyes regretted the news. He was afraid that he would die. At that moment, Sister Wang came to Fang Yuking's side. She slapped her angrily. Bitch, it's all your fault. Didn't you say that only the door is strong? Why are there arrows? Did you know that? That's why you ran so far away. At this moment, Fang Yuking can only pretend to be poor and innocent to gain sympathy. I don't know either. The last 2 times we went there, he didn't attack me with a crossbow. Zhou Peng came forward to testify for Fang Yuking. Cousin, don't be like this. He really doesn't know. But someone has to take care of the wounded. We have no choice but to call Dr. Zhou for help. Sister Wang had no choice but to call Dr. Zhou for help. It didn't take long. Dr. Zhou came to their room to check their injuries. He found another arrow wound. He was surprised. When Sister Wang asked who else, she just brushed it off. She saw them in the hospital. She didn't say anything about Chen Qingho. After diagnosis, Dr. Zhou said, without professional equipment for surgery, I do not have absolute certainty that the treatment will easily lead to infection. Knowing this news, Sister Wang scolded me again. How can Zhang Yi be so vicious? He's so cruel. Even if we take over his house, we won't take his life. When she heard the name Zhang, Dr. Zhou realized, I did all these arrow wounds after telling him not to pull out the arrows without medication. Dr. Zhou planned to leave. Suddenly, Fang Yuking said, I remember Zhang Yi has medicine at home. A month ago, I saw someone bring him medicine. In desperation, Fang Yuzheng suggested that the neighbors come to rob my house again. She said she knew we had a truckload of medicine at home. They could use it to save their injured neighbor. Antibiotics are not a rare drug. If he knew the disaster was coming and stocked up, there must be a lot of antibiotics and anti-inflammatory drugs. Neighbors were a little speechless at White Lotus's suggestion. Are you nuts? We've just been kicked out by him. How can Zhang Yitzi give us medicine to save our lives now? What are you afraid of? We didn't hurt him, and we were going to leave him some supplies after we broke down the door. It's his fault for not knowing what's good for him. We're the ones who are in the right. Since you're so confident, I'll leave it to you to take care of it. Zhang Yi has been after you before. You're the best man for the job. You're the one who robbed us before and got hurt. Fang Yuking is confused, but this time, even his faithful dog Zhou Peng advised him to do it. Please, Yuking, we'll survive so we can protect you. White Lotus failed to fool anyone. He had to go on his own. He went to the corner to brew his emotions. He dialed Zhang Yi's number. Brother Zhang Yi, Zhou Peng and the others are dying from your bullet wounds. They're so pitiful. So long as they're dead, they'll die sooner or later anyway. White Lotus is stunned. Zhang Yi is getting ready to eat at home. You don't think you'll survive this snowstorm, do you? How many of you have died in the past month? You're not far behind. White Lotus started pouting. Brother Zhang Yi, I was wrong before. It's all my fault. I let you down. Can you forgive me? Give me some medicine so I can save Zhou Peng and the others. I promise I'll never bother you again. Sister Wang grabbed the cell phone. Zhang translation, we're all in a precarious situation. There's a silver lining. Don't be so heartless. I shot them with a rusty arrow on purpose. I wanted them to get infected and die in pain and despair. And you come to me for medicine. Maybe we'll be needed in the future. What good will it do you? Why don't you take a shower or wine? The bodies of your accomplices are still on my doorstep. Are you waiting to get back at me later? I had a flash of insight. I'm going to take advantage of the White Lotus. I'll tell you what, since I've chased after Fang Yuqing before, I'll consider letting Fang Yuqing come to my home. Fang Yuqing went crazy. She's been starving for a month at minus 60 degrees. At my house, it's 27 degrees and I serve wine and steak all the time. He used the most knee-jerk tone to curry favor with me. If you let me live in your house, if you want me to live in your house, I'll do whatever you want. After I pretended to agree to Fang Yuqing living in my house, he willingly came to me as my mount. My best friend, Lin Sining, is also willing to do the same. She said she wanted to go on a date with me, but I made it clear. I love only Fang Yuqing. I don't want to be held back by others. She agreed to my conditions. Fang Yuqing agreed. I'll do whatever you want. She was so happy. She ran straight to my house. Then she shook off her best friend, Lin Caning. Get lost. Don't stop me from going to Zhang Yi's house. I've had enough of this. Sister Wang slapped her across the face and scolded her. Bitch, you've caused us so much pain. Now you can't even think about leaving. Lickspittle Zhou Peng still won't give up. He wants to win back Fang Yuqing as his woman. What's wrong with me pursuing my own happiness? Being with you is only temporary. When we run out of supplies, we'll all die. Zhou Peng, you're a good man. If you love someone, you should make them happy, right? Although you have helped me in the past, but in the end, what can you give me? What can you give me that Zhang Yi can't? After being brainwashed by Fang Yuqing, Zhou Peng was dumbfounded by Fang Yuqing's brainwashing, but her best friend, Lin Sining, threw her to the ground. She wouldn't let her leave to enjoy the glory and wealth alone. Sister Wang pointed at Fang Yuqing. You saw it too. This woman only thinks of herself. Keep an eye on her. Don't let this bitch tip off Zhang Yi. At this point, Zhou Qier mentioned the issue of medication again. If not treated in time, death is only a matter of time. Little Four Eyes thought of a good way to deal with Zhang Yi. That's to publicize the fact that we have plenty of food and supplies. It's obvious that we can't take down Zhang. We might as well leak it to the public, so that everyone in the neighborhood knows about it. Together with Chen Zhenghao, hundreds of people will attack his house. After demolishing the house, we'll definitely get a share of the profits. Fang Yuqing is gritting her teeth. You're shameless. I'm going to live with Zhang Yi in the future. You've ruined him. What will I do in the future? Hearing that this green tea is so shameless, Sister Wang wanted to slap her again, but Zhou Peng stopped her. I'm truly in love with Yuqing. As long as I use time to impress him, sooner or later, he'll fall in love with me. Seeing Zhou Peng's indifference, Sister Wang had to give up. Worthless lickspittle. Let that bitch take care of you. The next moment he posted photos of me drinking red wine and eating steak in the owner's group. He accused me of being selfish and shameless. He wanted to unite everyone to take action. When Chen Zhenghao saw the photos in the group, he couldn't help himself. He was hungry and drooling. This kid has hidden so many goodies in his house. It's a good time to avenge the old and the new. He took his pistol and gathered his men. Many people started to send messages to Zhang Yi. They asked him to give us an explanation. Zhang's family has so many roasted chickens and you don't even share a little bit. Are you still a human being? People will remember you as a good person. I hope you won't be ungrateful. I've seen the messages popping up all the time. I want to see. I'd like to see how funny these people's faces can be. After a long time, I faintly replied, Do I know you well? Why should I share my stuff with you? At this moment, the crazy neighbors reminds me of a scene from my past life. In my past life, I helped you out of kindness, but in return, I was cut into pieces. Who would reason with a bunch of irrational animals? That's why I'm going to play with them to my heart's content. These pitiful and hateful bugs. Is this guy really not afraid of death? We can all drown him with a mouthful of spit. He's not a good guy. At this point, he still wants to enjoy his own happiness. He's a bastard who doesn't care about salt and all. I'll get you when I'm done with this snowstorm. The more on the verge of despair and hope, the more people's minds break down. Their faces become more and more hideous. I watched their twisted faces. I took out a bottle of 82 Lafite from the same space. Red wine and foie gras are a perfect match. It makes me savor the taste of red wine even if I'm not accustomed to it. It's boring to stay at home every day. Why don't we go out sometime? Yeah, I've got a couple of snowmobiles in storage. I can't leave the house now, but with this method, I can go out and blow off some steam in the future. I can go out and blow off some steam. At that moment, the WeChat message popped up again. I glanced at it and saw that it was Zhou Qier. He didn't send me a private photo. Instead, he calmly wanted to exchange with me. The reason why Zhou Qier died in his last life. Because he gave up the last of his food to Shelly May and her daughter. He looks cold, but he's more enthusiastic than others when it matters. Otherwise, I would have left him to take care of me and my good brother. Now, I'm doing pretty well for myself, but my brother's life is a bit miserable. We can consider Chloe, but I can't let him in without 100% certainty. After all, I am very afraid of death. Then replied to my home really quite a lot of things. You want to exchange, at least take out some of the things that are now useful to me. Zhou Qier froze for a moment. Consider it as an advance payment for the diagnosis. Okay, I really don't have anything else to give you. From the look on Zhou Qier's face, if he didn't have no other choice, he wouldn't have begged a man he didn't know very well. I can give you food and medicine, but you must also do me a favor. What favor? Jokia replied. It's very simple. These neighbors are going to kill me soon. I want you to monitor their plans and keep me informed. Are you willing to betray them and surrender to me? Or do you want to go with the flow and stay on the sidelines? It's your choice. His morals and conscience don't allow him to be a despicable person, but the fact that his neighbors chose to rob John out of jealousy was even worse in his eyes. So he chose to help him. I glanced at the group. Many of the messages in it continued to target him. Moral abduction and intimidation of him. Zhang Yi, where the hell are you? Give us an answer. Are you going to hand over your supplies or not? The corner of my mouth curled into a cold smile. These idiots really want more than they can handle. I'd burn everything in my house. You won't get a piece of the action. The neighbors are all gnashing their teeth in anger. The culprit is still talking at the end of his life. Let's see how much longer you can run around. Chen Zhenghao, the leader of the triads in the neighborhood, instigated the killing of Zhang Yi in the group. If we take him down, we can get a lot of supplies. But I'll take half of the supplies for this operation. These brainiacs in the neighborhood are being used by Chen Zhenghao as a gun, and they don't even know it yet. We should put aside our past grudges for the time being. Our first goal is to enter Zhang Yi's house, to get back the supplies that belong to the collective. Jokia notified me on WeChat. They're on the move. Uncle Yuji, the neighborhood security guard, also notified me by private message. I calmly replied yes. I took out my pistol and started cleaning it. Chloe was worried about me. They've gone crazy. Every house is ready to go there. Aren't you scared? I smiled calmly. Don't worry. But remember, don't come together. Then we'll see what happens. The neighbors came to my house with tractors. They're coming to my house with all kinds of stuff. I'll kill that selfish bastard. He had it coming. He deserved to die. Crowds of people are coming. They blocked the hallway in front of my house. Then they took turns breaking down the door. Zhang Yi, get out of there. If you don't want to die, this is your last chance. Don't wait for us to rush in. Otherwise, it'll be too late to say anything. I watched this scene from the surveillance camera. Sun Jichao and Chen Zhenghao are really good teammates, letting you guys take the lead and get killed. A bunch of cannon fodder for nothing. Then I pressed the high voltage switch. The one who was still slamming the door in anger. His face was distorted by the electricity. The ones behind him were scared shitless. The one who smashed the door was the worst. He was directly electrocuted and burned to a crisp. The other neighbors were so scared that they wanted to retreat. Chen Zhenghao appeared with his men and pistols. He put his gun directly on those who wanted to run away. Where are you going? Go on. Keep smashing. Sun Jichao also started to yell. Zhang Yi is an animal. Since he killed his neighbor, we must kill him, to avenge those who died. Don't be afraid to bang on the door with wood. He doesn't have many tricks up his sleeve. He's at his wit's end. If we break through this door, there's a cozy fireplace and endless food waiting for us. Sun Jichao's words have made many people red-eyed. They've been starving and cold for half a month. It's worth dying for a bite of food. A group of people held a lock, aimed at the door of Zhang Yi's house and started banging on it like crazy. Brothers, hit it for me. Open the door and kill John. The people outside the door were banging on it as hard as they could, but I wasn't having enough fun. I took out a Sennheiser stereo from the other dimension. After connecting it to my cell phone, I started to play a song. You won't be cocky anymore. I'll kill you right away. But after a few dozen hits, they were saddened to find that the door hadn't moved. Everyone was out of breath. What kind of door is this? How come it's so strong? At this rate, how long will it take to break down the door? The man with the glasses went up to check it out and found out what was going on. This is a bank vault security door, so this thing can't be broken through, not to mention wood. Even a bomb can't break through a top security door like this. If you don't have a key, unless the world's top locksmith, there's only a slight chance of opening it. Before the man with glasses finished speaking, I raised my crossbow and shot him, straight through his throat. Only then did the people outside realize the power of Zhang Yi's crossbow. He's armed, be careful. They were so scared that everyone around them scattered in a hurry. But there's only so much space in the aisle. Hundreds of people are crowded together. They can't run at all. Why are you pushing me? What's wrong with you? You're the one who pushed me. Don't play innocent or I'll kill you. Those who couldn't run in time were soon shot again. They're desperately trying to squeeze into the stairwell, I shot dozens of crossbow arrows. In this crowded place, almost none of them missed. At this time Sun Jingqiao shouted, "Don't worry, I have a solution. The door of Zhang's house is made of aluminum alloy and we can't break it down. But there are so many of us who can smash the wall." Then everyone used all their strength. They hit the wall with hammers. Cracks began to appear on the wall. Everyone's eyes were full of excitement. They thought they had found a breakthrough. Everyone hurriedly smashed. Immediately, Zhang Yan Dog Thief could not laugh anymore. But when the people swung the hammer to hit the second time, but suddenly came the sound of metal clashing. The whole crowd froze. Why is it so hard? Then Sun Jichao went forward to check. Why is there a steel plate inside the wall? Why is it like this? Who builds a house with steel plates? I don't believe this house is made of steel. We couldn't stand the despair anymore. They grabbed their tools and knocked on other places, hoping to find a hole in the wall. I don't give a damn. You all can think of something. I could not have thought of it in the first place. The outer walls of this house alone. It's reinforced with 20 centimeters of steel. Aircraft carriers can't even break through. With your broken hammers, the pounding outside is still going on. That's why I've turned on the room's noise-canceling function. This is to prevent people outside from using the noise to attack. Sun Jichao is gritting his teeth. How could this happen? Why would someone make a house like this? Zhang's neighbor also said, "We saw his house being renovated, but we didn't think it would turn out like this." Sun Jichao pointed at Zhang's house and cursed. He knew there would be a big snowstorm. All he did was to prevent us. The neighbors echoed his words. The scumbag Zhang Yi only cares about his own life. He doesn't think about everyone's life and death. One day you'll be in a state of regret and remorse for not helping us. You'll be in a state of regret and remorse for not helping us. At that moment, Chen Zhenghao reappeared with a pistol. He only wants to rob Zhang's house. What's the hurry? This is just the beginning. Even if the walls of his house are steel plates, there's still the roof and the floor. Let's split up and attack. I don't believe he'll make a wall of steel. The neighbors heard what Chen Zhenghao said. They all went upstairs and downstairs. They tried everything they could. Chen Zhenghao's brain is quite good at what he does. But I'm not stupid. But soon they were plunged into deeper despair. My house is really an iron box. Up, down, left, right, front. There's not a single angle that isn't sealed by steel plates. It took a whole day of work. Many people collapsed on the floor from exhaustion. Their stomachs began to growl. They rubbed their shriveled stomachs. Hunger was about to overwhelm them. At that moment, a horrible thought came into the mind of one of the neighbors. A horrible thought came into his head. Isn't this meat? A neighbor who was going crazy with hunger saw the exposed neck of the man sitting next to him. Isn't this meat? As soon as the horrible thought appeared, everyone immediately went cold with fear. They tried to get the thought out of their heads. They probably knew that, if that day comes, they would kill each other. The phenomenon of cannibalism would definitely happen. Sun Jichao's face was filled with pain. Is there really no way out? Damn Zhang Yi. Sun Jichao roared to the sky. Desperation has completely twisted his mind. At that moment, Zhang Jichao's good neighbor came out. Maybe we can try the balcony. When he renovated his house, he turned the balcony into a floor-to-ceiling window. A large area is covered in glass. Maybe there's a chance to break in. Hearing what Zhang's neighbor said, a group of people who were on the verge of despair regained their confidence. Since there are windows, there must be an exit. It's impossible to seal them all. So they set up wooden planks between the two balconies. They swung their hammers and headed for Zhang Yi's balcony. These people are like madmen. But I didn't panic at all. I even poured myself a cup of steaming hot coffee. If there really are zombies, it's probably similar to these people. The neighbors are banging on the glass like crazy. If you break this glass, you're done for. You fucking asshole. I think it's about time. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a Molotov cocktail canister and set it on fire. I threw it into a pre-designed compartment. It'll warm you up, you freezing bastards. And don't forget to thank me. The bottle appeared from above the balcony. It falls to the ground as everyone looks on in amazement. With a loud pop, and the flames started to burn. There wasn't much room on the balcony. The down jackets and cotton pants of these people got wet with gasoline. They burst into flames. With a long scream, one man fell from the 24th floor. I smiled. It's better to fall to your death than to be burned to death. Help me, help me. In extreme pain, he called for help from Zhang Yi. I'll save your ass. Go to hell, Carla. The people on the balcony next door, seeing this hellish scene, they were scared out of their wits. They're still trying to climb back up. Of course Sun Jichao wouldn't let them come over. Don't come over, you're hopeless. What if they burn us? He kicked him down with one foot. The air was filled with a familiar burning smell. Looking at the burning bodies, and they went up to the fire with their hands outstretched. It's so warm, they said, after failing to break down the door, the wall, and the windows of my house. The neighbors were devastated. Half an hour later, one of them climbed up to my balcony, kneeled down directly in front of me with a thud. I'm starving to death. Please help me, even if it's just a piece of bread. One after another, people came and kowtowed to Zhang Yi. They cried and begged Zhang Yi to give them a bite to eat. I sighed. Don't be like this. It's hard to watch. As I said that, I held up the hot noodles in my hand. When I feel bad, I want to eat. As I watched Zhang Yi eating his noodles, the neighbors were salivating. They couldn't help but crave it. I said slowly, which one of you is going to bring Chen Zhenghao's head here? I'll feed him noodles like this for a week. I eat them all the time. Don't say I didn't give you a chance. As I said this, I also sent this message to the group. The neighbor in front of the glass window heard these words. A hesitant expression appeared on his face. At that moment, Chen Zhenghao was on the balcony next door, but he didn't know what Zhang Yi had said. While he was pondering, suddenly felt a pinch on his back. The hairs on his back stood up. He turned around and raised his gun. What do you want? Get the hell out of here. The bald guy and the guy with the matted face were in front of him. He then realized it was me who sent the group message. Shameless bastards. And now you're after me. After saying that, he was ready to leave with a curse. Zhang Jichao asked, what will happen to Zhang Yi's family after you leave? We can't even attack them. What else can we do? We'll figure it out later. Early the next morning, two desperate men came to take his life. One of them was hesitant. Are you really going to do it? How many people has Chen Zhenghao killed? Can we beat him? What's the point of talking nonsense now? If we continue to starve, we'll die anyway. Maybe we can get some meat from Zhang Yi if we try. Chen Zhenghao and his boys are going out to get some snow. Hurry up and get going. If we're late, we'll be eating ice cubes. Then the two of them rushed towards Chen Zhenghao with kitchen knives in hand. The bald guy who was walking in front of them looked like a woman's sixth sense. He looked back. He shouted, "Boss, watch out behind you." The two men were already swinging their kitchen knives at Chen Zhenghao. Two shots rang out from the hallway. The ambushed neighbors fell into a pool of blood. Chen Zhenhao's boys dragged away the two bodies. If you want me to die, you go to hell first. At that moment, another junior found Chen Zhenhao was cut with a knife. A 30-centimeter slash was made in Chen's down jacket by a kitchen knife. The blood isn't obvious on the down jacket. You can only see it when you look closely. Returning to his room with the help of his boys, picked up the cell phone and called Joe Kier. Dr. Joe, I'm hurt. Come and help me bandage it up. Shortly after, Dr. Joe carried a medical kit to Chen Zhenghao's house. Looking at this murderous villain, Joe Kier said, I won't treat you for free. At that moment, Brother Baldy brought a bowl of food. You can have a bowl of this. Of course, Chloe knew what was in the bowl. I'd rather die than touch this. Chen Zhenghao smiled and said, I can't afford to do that. Dr. Joe is still pretending to be noble. Sooner or later, you'll find out. You'll die if you don't eat. Chen Zhenghao stared at Joe Kier, a flash of heat in his eyes. Don't worry, if I have to sacrifice you one day, I'll leave you at the end. Joe Kier shook off his hand and prepared to leave, but she didn't realize that her boys would block the door. Joe Kier was shocked. What do you want? It's nothing. You can't leave until I'm healed. I don't know how many people want him dead. He'll be relieved to have a doctor on his side. We've attacked Zhang Yi's house several times. We've failed every time. We can't go on like this. It's like a turtle shell. We can't get in. Joe Kier memorized their conversation. She got up and headed for the restroom. Dr. Joe, where are you going? Joe Kier replied to the restroom. Then she sent a message to Zhang Yi. Chen Zhenghao is going to move in next door to you. Got it. You continue to observe the situation. Stay safe. Chen Zhenghao and the others packed up their supplies. They took Joe Kier to the 24th floor. The neighbor next door to Zhang Yi knew Chen Zhenghao was here. He was scared to death. Brother Huo, this house will be yours from now on. We'll leave right away. He said he was about to leave with his daughter-in-law before they could take 2 steps. Chen Zhenghao's men smiled coldly. Then he raised the steel pipe in his hand. Bang, bang, bang. After 2 muffled sounds, they were killed directly. Joe Kier has never seen this kind of world. Covered his mouth. This is the first time he's ever seen someone killed. Even the strongest of minds can't remain calm. Chen Zhenghao smiled coldly. When it's cold, you have to stock up on food, so that we don't run out of food in the future. Sun Jichao and the others are at home, due to the failure of the last attack on Zhang Yi's house. Their plan to get the medicine also failed. The injured three felt an itchy wound. Sun Jichao couldn't help but pull open the gauze to take a look. As a result, the wound has started to turn into pus. Don't be like this. I don't want to die yet. Sun Jichao was so scared that he cried out. Snot and tears were pouring out of his nose. When the other two saw this scene, they also opened their wounds to check, praying that they won't get infected. But the ideal is beautiful. Reality is cruel. It's over. We're all going to die. Cousin, why don't you go beg Zhang Yi? A few days later, I've been monitoring the building through the security cameras. I could see anyone who appeared in the hallway. I realized Chen Zhenghao was up to something again. Behave yourself. As long as we work together, we'll survive. We must take down Zhang Yi as soon as possible. But I soon realized Chen Zhenghao is trying to get these people to work for him, to save them from being attacked by the others. At that moment, the phone rang again. It was Zhou Qier calling behind Chen Zhenghao's back. What's the situation over there? Chen Zhenghao and his men have gone crazy. They've eaten all the food. They've gathered young and strong men from the apartments to break into the neighbors' houses. They vandalized and looted. They even killed people to make soup. I haven't eaten for 2 days. I feel like I'm starving to death. Zhang Yi, can you still save me? I've been thinking for a long time. Zhou Qier is still useful. She's a doctor who knows her way around the world and is the chief surgeon at a tertiary hospital. We can't just let him die. I'm tired of it after a few days. It's time to give him a chance to make a submission. I'll give Chen Zhenghao a hard dish on the side. Do something for me. I'll let you live afterward. Just then, there's a banging sound at the door. Zhang Yi, get out of here. All you do is hide in your house all day long and act like a turtle. Useless piece of shit. Zhou Peng is infected, isn't it? In biology class, the teacher taught me about wound infections. The tetanus bacillus on the rust will multiply like maggots. It eats away at your flesh and blood. Eventually it spreads all over your body along your veins. Even though he knew that Zhang Yi was deliberately trying to scare him, but the fear in his heart is uncontrollable. I'll kill you, Mr. Zhang. You're bound to die anyway. There's no cure for advanced infection. Why don't you do something you didn't dare to do while you're still alive? I'd rather do what I've never dared to do in my life. After listening to Zhang's words, he fell into deeper despair.